Welcome to the latest episode of this week's Acca. Despite it being the busiest week in betting with Cheltenham Festival and back-to-back weekend winners for this week's Acca, Tom has abandoned us and gone to Amsterdam. So I'm in the chair, but don't worry, having missed the last couple of episodes, I deliver zero insight. Just leave it to Jake and Jimmy, who build a brilliant 12-1 Acca that we think can win on Tuesday. We've also got insight from one of our racing experts who comes in to give you some Cheltenham Day 1 tips, including a 22-1 winner. And please like and subscribe on YouTube and podcast channels. Give us a review, 5-star ratings please if you can. And of course, always, please gamble responsibly. This is for 18s and over. Right, fresh off the back of back-to-back weekend winners, Tom Carnduff has not just returned from Turkey and had a reverse operation. We've got our racing expert, Ben Linfoot, sitting next to us. It's Cheltenham week. He's going to give us some Cheltenham tips for day one. But, I mean, Tom Carnduff, has he chosen the worst possible week to take some bloody annual leave? Cheltenham week, and after the, or maybe the best possible week, actually. Might be just punting his brains out in Amsterdam and using all that money for...
Well, we wouldn't be getting him to do the Gold Cup tips. I can assure you of that. So
absolutely.
It's a good week.
So, how are you feeling about Cheltenham, mate? We'll get into all the Acca nonsense in a minute, but I'm sure that our curious and loyal listeners who've been rewarded the last 2 weekends might be wanting to dive into a few Cheltenham bets as well.
Yeah, well, I feel like the pressure's on. I mean, you lads are on fire, aren't you? Back-to-back Acca.
Well, not me, mate. I haven't been on for 2 weeks, coincidentally.
Those lads are on fire over here.
I did read the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Always enjoyable. But yeah, well done with the Accas. It's tough at Cheltenham, so I'll get the excuses in early. But there's a bit of negativity around this year's festival, there's going to be a lot of odds-on favourites and small fields, and there will be a lot of punters having Accas and doing the multiple bets around the Willie Mullins horses because he's just got an amazing team. But there's loads of good handicaps, etc. as well, and hopefully we can get a few big prize winners along the way.
Where are those big prize winners?
Yeah, where are
I
they?
want to hear. You've got a few questions,
yeah,
can't you?
Yeah, because Sky Bet, they're going the money back as cash for the first race on Tuesday, which works because we're recording this on a Monday. So what is your approach for that, and what am I backing in this first race? No pressure.
Well, I think when you've got an offer like money back as cash on a loser, you cannot lose on this bet. There's no point in sticking in a 3-1 shot, a 4-1 shot, is there? You've got to go for it. You may as well go for an outsider. It's free money. So I would go for an outsider. The thing is, there's no point in putting in an absolute no-hoper either. So I'd be looking at the middle range. 22-1 shot, something like that.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, you piqued my interest because I've heard cannot lose.
Is that the name of an horse?
Does not lose. Cannot lose. 22-1.
So you've got Selective hearing, Jimmy.
It has, yeah.
Yeah, you've got issues.
Does not lose. What's this horse that does not lose?
No, you can't lose because you get your money back if you lose. That's why you can't lose.
Can't lose. Can't lose.
Free hit, basically.
You cannot lose.
So the free hit, I'd go with Tell Her the Name. A 22-1 shot in the Sky Bet Supreme.
Hey, there she is.
No, he's a he.
Oh, it's a he.
It's confusing, but that's just horse racing for you. So yeah, Tell Her the Name.
Number 11.
He's a fast horse. He's a speedy horse, which is often what you want in this race. Obviously, it's over 2 miles on the old course at Cheltenham, so speed is required. And he's got a lot of pace. He's from the Ben Pauling Yard, which is in terrific form. Winners all over the place, a couple of big winners at the weekend, and I think he will be prominent and give you a good run for your money at good odds. And if he capsizes up the hill, you get your money back.
Well, I've heard trainers in good form.
Yep.
Couple of winners at the weekend, and a nice price. So I'm all in.
There you go.
Before we get a few more horses from
I just
Scoop,
can't believe it does not lose. You're not going to lose.
You can't lose.
No,
You get your money back if you lose.
yeah, it's an offer from a bookmaker.
No, sorry. Does not lose.
Sorry, everybody. Before we get...
Just excuse me while I remember to tell him, pile in. Got one that does not lose.
I'll get this out at one point. It's important information. So we'll get a little bit more insight from Scoop in a minute, but just keep an eye on your podcast feeds and on our YouTube channel as well, because we'll be sending out just a short little episode where Tom, before he jetted off to Amsterdam for a week at the worst possible time in the year, then he has built an Acca with our racing team, Ben Linfoot, Matt Brocklebank and Dave Ord, and it's well worth a listen. Really good episode, and there's an Acca for a horse a day all week. So that'll be coming to you early this week. So just make sure that you get on it before Tuesday.
Yep.
Because obviously you need to get on it before.
Am I correct in saying, Scoop, that was a 50-1 Acca you've made on Friday?
Yeah, well, the thing is with Cheltenham, Jimmy, there is plenty of odds-on shots to stick in there, like you lads on the football.
Zing! Oh, he started.
Well, it's gone there.
Early. You'll not be getting invited back on at this rate.
No, but the best thing about Cheltenham is you can back proven Grade 1 winners at big prices because they're in against proven Grade 1 winners as well. Yeah. And so you can boost your Acca with a 4-5-1 shot that's got really good form at the top level. And that's the beauty of Cheltenham for me.
I'm looking forward to listening and watching that little section. I just want to see if Tom Carnduff vetoes any selections, just for no reason whatsoever.
No, okay. those lads will have him. Those lads will have him right in his place.
Head was spinning.
No way.
So, no, I'm not having that one because I don't like its name. Yeah, that's Carnduff.
So what else? We know you got loads on this week's Scoops. We want to be able to let you get out of here. What else do we like day one?
Day one, it's a good day one. It's not as good as it could have been with Constitution Hill not being there. The big draw for the week, and State Man is now the 1-3 favourite in the champion hurdle, and he should win. But I'm telling nobody anything they don't know there because he's got the best form in the race by a mile. Going back to that Supreme, even though we said tell her the name as a good chance when you've got a free hit on the race, I do think Tully Hill is the most likely winner of that race for Willie Mullins. He struggled with his hurdling early in the season, was beaten at 1-8. Imagine
beaten at 1-8.
Yeah, imagine having that in your Acca, letting you down. But he's improved since then. His hurdling's really sharpened up, and I think he might take a bit of beating in the first Tully Hill. In the handicaps, there's a race called the Ultimate Handicap Chase over 3 miles 1. Always a good contest, 20 plus runners in that. I like a horse called Trelawn, who's a bit quirky. He's got his own ideas about the game.
A bit like Punt.
A little bit like Punt, yeah. This is one for you, Jimmy. Yeah. But he could be a massive improver stepping up in trip, and Kim Bailey's booked the best in the business, Harry Cobden, who's very good on this type of horse. So I think Trelawn might be a good bet in that race.
Harry Cobden, the jockey?
Harry Cobden is the champion jockey elect. He is in great form. He's looking like he's going to win the championship this year. He had a couple of festival winners last year. He rides for Paul Nicholls, and he's riding out of his skin at the minute.
What time does Jimmy's horse equivalent run?
That is the Ultimate at 2:50 on the first day. Yeah, Trelawn. One to watch out for.
Trelawn.
Right, thanks very much for that, Scoop. And you can get all your Sporting Life insight on the website. You'll have podcasts, will you? Daily best bets, things like that?
Yeah, we've got podcasts twice this week, going through Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. So check out YouTube, Spotify, etc. for those. And yeah, check out the app and Sporting Life/racing for all your festival needs.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? He's good.
Right, lads, let's get stuck into the footy. We'll go a bit more into the comments and the reaction to back-to-back weekend winners for Thursday's episode, except for a few comments which I really need to acknowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
Over to you, James.
Yeah, just to clarify, we're just ignoring the fact that we've had back-to-back winners for the time being.
Yeah.
Put that on ice, the fact that we've had...
We have had back-to-back winners, but we're not going to mention that today.
Oh.
Can you guess how many points we are in profit over?
No, we're not.
By we, I mean you.
Yeah. 55, if anybody's counting.
50? No, sorry, we're not talking about that now.
We're talking about...
No, 3 comments I've got to address. It's no coincidence I asked Joe to step down, and you've had back-to-back winners. We're not talking about the back-to-back winners today, though. Was nothing personal to him. It just works better as a free. Darren Jones said, Joe's got no chance of finding a seat back on the table. Well in again, lads. And Mayor KXS, light, witty, action-packed show without all the "you're boring me" statements from another co-host. Nice one. It's my great pleasure, though, to welcome back into the hot seat, Joe Townsend. Hey, buddy.
No pressure.
Oh, dear me. Yeah, so that is why I'll be delivering zero insight, because it's what the people want. It really is. But where we will start, not a selection from me, but I heard you two both chatting about Barnsley away at Carlisle as a selection that you were debating between yourselves just off camera, which I actually think is another attempt to actually shithouse me. So not only have we started with that, but I bear witness to Barnsley losing 5-1 at home on Saturday to Lincoln City. So where shall we start? The most offensive selection to Joe. So over to you, Jim.
Yeah, you are a Barnsley fan, aren't you? For context, you support Barnsley.
Yeah.
Your own resident cheeky little Tykes fan, aren't you?
I'm indeed, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's brilliant news for us too. We want to back against Carlisle. Barnsley getting battered at the weekend. I don't know if it has pumped up that price a little bit. They're 3-4 at Carlisle. I didn't check, probably should have checked. But for context, Pompey recently went off at 1.6 at Brunton Park. So obviously you can't quite put Barnsley on the same sort of standard as Pompey, but they are one of the teams in close contention for that second automatic spot. And basically, we've been keen to get against Carlisle for the last few weeks. They're 24th,
whole season pretty much.
Well, yeah, 24th.
A few times.
For those who don't know, 24th, 9 adrift, 5 wins all season. Only 2 wins out of 29 against sides above 20th. Wow, they are bad. Jake, do you want to talk about Barnsley or?
No, I was just going to keep heaping more misery on Carlisle, really. Won just 2 of the last 19 league games, lost 14 in that time. They've lost 6 of the last 7 at home, and the only team they've beaten in that time was Port Vale, who are equally shit, basically. My only nagging doubt about Barnsley is that we have seen with the other promotion contenders, they have a little wobble.
Yep.
It tends to last 3 or 4 games, and I just wonder if Barnsley are kind of in the middle of that period right now, where they've obviously a draw with Bolton's not the end. It's not the worst result. It was a last-minute penalty. But then to get absolutely spanked at home by Lincoln, another good spanking, is...
Spanking.
Ooh. Yeah.
Nice.
To continue that theme. But yeah, we've got... we're basically backing against a decent team and against the worst team in the entire division.
This does feel like a tap-in, but I'm hoping Joe can pour a bit of cold water on it.
He's not putting any insight into.
Well, he can do a bit, but he's got to do his job a little bit. He can't just sit there quiet all show.
And he watched them at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Because this feels too obvious, but I didn't watch Barnsley at the weekend. Is there some cold water to put on this, or are you having Barnsley at this price, 3-4-ish?
Yeah, well, it's been the same in, I'd say, not just Barnsley, but I like backing good teams straight after they've had a bad defeat, usually. And on Saturday, there were inexplicable individual errors, the goals that Barnsley gave away, that completely swung the game. As a football fan in the moment, most football fans, you think that was awful, they were so terrible. But really, Barnsley probably should have lost the game 2-1, the way it went. And it was just moments. So there's no way it was a 5-1 game. Individual errors were catastrophically bad. Just one of those things.
So, in a word,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, I'd have it in.
Shit. First selection then.
Do it.
Right, so the first selection for this week's Acca is Barnsley to beat Carlisle at 4-6.
I honestly had to take a second look at Notts County's recent form. They are away at Crawley on Tuesday. They've won 5 of the last 20 in the league, and they've had 8 losses in the last 10 away league games. It's an awful run of form. Something that I don't think anybody saw coming at the start of the season. They've got like stone through the division. And they're going to miss the playoffs.
15th in the league.
Yeah, it's some fall, isn't it? I mean, they were top of the table, near the top of the table. But yeah, just look at the amount of goals they've conceded as well, 68. So I was looking at Crawley, 8-5 at home to Notts County. Crawley, a team that many thought would go down at the start of the season. They're not going to do that. They're actually pushing towards the playoff places, not far off that at all now. Just 3 points behind Gillingham. They had a little wobble themselves, a bit more of a wobble than what we probably would suggest. 4 defeats in 5, 3 if we include the league. But they've bounced back really, really well. Won 4 of the last 5. I think Crawley are one of those teams that can cause County some serious problems. It's more about Notts County's shortcomings really than how good Crawley are. But the fact that they've found form makes this price to me look a little bit on the big side.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I was just looking, spying on your screen then when you said they had a bit of a wobble. 4 games in a row they lost, but One of them was against Salford, which I'm sure had Carl Robinson just taken charge. Second game,
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, because we backed him to beat beat him. Yeah.
So that's accounted for. Then they lost to Peterborough in the Cup. That's accounted for. Morecambe, don't know much about them, but I do know about Crewe, and they're a bloody good side, and they also beat him. Yeah. So is it a wobble, or have they just played 3 very good teams back to back? I think they're a good team, and as you say, covered everything on Notts County. They're in absolute free fall. The only niggling doubt is they've got a really good set of attackers. But I think that's offset with the absolute shit defence and the fact that they're away from home and the fact that they're playing a Crawley side chasing down that 7th playoff spot. And of course, the final sweetener is 2.6 in it, the price.
Yeah, it's a good price. Bumps things up a little bit.
Even the point on attackers, though, I was looking it up before you even mentioned it, that Langstaff has slowed down his unbelievable rate of goal scoring. And for him, that is... I actually can't remember it over the last 2 years. 3 goals in 8 matches. That is a dry spell he's probably had his whole time in Notts County, and it's the only thing that has kept them going is the fact that he's probably going to score twice most games. They're going to concede 70 goals by this point in the season. So it's a real struggle for him. The price is outrageous.
It's crazy. It is priced based on pre-season assessments, I think, still. The fact that...
And documentaries.
Yeah, documentaries being up there. But the fact that Crawley were priced as one of the favourites for relegation, Notts County priced as one of the favourites to go up, but they're clearly, Notts County nowhere near that level, nowhere near that standard. I mean, the amount of goals they're conceding away from home is ridiculous. Not even to like good teams, but like Grimsby scored 5 against them not so long ago. Tranmere 4, Harrogate scored 3, Wimbledon put 4 past them. So yeah, I think this looks like one that has a real strong potential.
I think this is in. So rather than us break like we usually would, because this is getting us up to 100 to 30 on the double, having Barnsley 4 to 6, Crawley 8 to 5. I know that there was a second big priced one that you both liked. So I feel like it makes sense to talk about these alongside one another. So who's going to take it?
Go on.
I'll take the reins.
Go on. Grab 'em.
She's actually the name of one of the horse racing podcasts, isn't it?
Yeah, from Sporting Life.
Yeah, from Sporting Life.
Just
a
horse
generic one.
Yeah, from Sporting Life. Plug nailed it. MK Dons 13 to 10, same division. These are away from home at Grimsby, and I just don't understand this Dons price one bit. I don't get it one jot. Since Mike Williamson took charge, Duffman calls him Iron Mike. Is that just something he's hoping to catch on, or is that something that MK Dons fans call him?
No, that's Mike Tyson.
I understand what he's doing.
I think he's just pinched it, hasn't he?
Has he? I didn't know if that's something Dons fans would call him.
Well, if someone could tell us whether that's what he was called when he was Gateshead manager, but I'd never heard it before. So maybe Tom's trying to get it to catch on.
I like
He's
it.
He's an influencer now.
Such a maverick, though, isn't he? Well, anyway, since Iron Mike took charge, they have been the best side in League Two. 24 games, 15 wins, 48 points. Grimsby, for context, they haven't won any of the games against the top 6. I know it's at Grimsby, but me and you spoke about this before, Joe, when it was just me and you on
that one went well, didn't it?
Yeah. You shush. Yeah, Grimsby, I think, are better away from home than actually at home. So if anything, this only suits MK Don's case more.
Yeah, you made a good case, and MK Dons are one of the best teams in the division. Obviously coming off the back of some good wins themselves, beating Mansfield away midweek last time was hell of a result. Yeah, my only nagging doubt is that...
I knew there was a book coming. I could just tell. You can
feel
tell
it
by the tone of his
Yeah,
voice.
you could feel it. Is that Grimsby are on a little 4-game unbeaten run, and it's not the fact that they're actually unbeaten, it's the fact that they've actually gone to a more binary scoreline approach. Like before that, they were losing 6-1, drawing 5-5, losing 3-1, 5-1. The last 4 games, 1-1, 1-0, 0-0, 1-1. That concerns me a little bit, suggested they might have tightened up.
Yeah.
But as you pointed out before we started recording, they've not played anyone of MK Don's stature or quality in that time.
Who have they played in that time?
They played Sutton, Wimbledon, who are...
I mean, Sutton, who are the worst side in the English football divisions.
You got to think about what you're going to say there.
Top opponents, aren't they?
Yep. Well, Wimbledon they drew with away from home, and they beat MK Dons. I know that's a derby, it's a caveat. And
all away.
They drew away at Morecambe as well, which Morecambe are a team that are in the ascendancy as well. But don't get me wrong, I was as surprised as anybody to see the price. I thought you'd be getting around.
I think
it's
we're
on
having it.
really. Yeah.
I think we're having it. Because if it goes in, then we've got a treble. This is on Sky Bet at the moment without getting a boost at already 8.3 to 1, because MK Dons are 23 to 20 with Sky Bet, 13 to 10 elsewhere. So we're probably getting up to 9 to 1 on the treble with the boost if we put both those in. What do we reckon?
Can we put both of those in? Is that all right, Joe?
But you lads are in charge. I'm just the guy building the coupon.
I want both of them in.
I'm happy to go both in, yeah.
Okay, we'll lock it in.
I think the clincher for me with MK Dons is the fact that they are banging the race for automatic promotion. Their run of form's sensational. It's tight at the top as well, which means that every point matters.
Right, here we go then. So this is this week's Acca treble so far. So Barnsley at 4 to 6 to win at Carlisle, Crawley to beat Notts County at 8 to 5, and MK Dons to win at Grimsby at 23 to 20. That is a treble at 8.3 to 1. Okay, so we've raced through here. Record time. It's nice when it's just two of you talking and I'm just here pressing buttons. Then it's amazing how much quick work you can get done, isn't it?
You really excelled in that button pressing role as well.
Right, Scarface. What do you reckon for next selection? Remember, like, we're getting towards 9 to 1 with a treble, so we might only need one more.
I really
Get ourselves beyond 10 to 1.
really like the fact that we've popped two big prices in side by side. It gives us a little wiggle room, doesn't it, in terms of short price. My favourite on the slate in terms of banker would probably be Wrexham at home to Harrogate. Simple fact is Wrexham, one of the best teams in the land on their own turf. Away from home,
Entire land.
take them or leave them. But
Is that the land of the UK or just Wales?
the English Great Britain shores,
Right.
from Inverness to Helston, from the deep to the other side. Yeah, I just think they're bloody brilliant at home, and I swear Paul Mullen can only score at home as well. That's all I really have to say on the matter.
Just a little interjection here. Really good point from producer Dom speaking in my ear that for anybody listening to the podcast rather than watching on YouTube, we need to tell you why I'm calling Jimmy Scarface because they'll just think that I'm having a dig at him. It could come across as really bad bullying, but he does have a Scarface hoodie on. And who's on the back?
Scarface as well.
There you go. Oh yeah, nice. Real? Is it an H&M special? That
It was a gift. It was a gift. I thought you were just referencing the horrible gash I've got on my head.
I've never noticed that before. I'm sorry that you're self-conscious about it.
I'm not even going to cry about it that much.
Anyway, back to Wrexham, mate.
Yeah, I'm done on the matter. That's why I said that's all I've got to say on the matter.
Well, I'd switched off because I was just thinking about addressing the potential bullying lawsuit.
Yeah, I had it between Portsmouth and Wrexham. They're both the best home teams in the respective division based on results. You can throw them both in if you want to, but I think we're going to settle on one given the price. Portsmouth's case is pretty straightforward. As I said, the best home team in land. Burton are flapping at the moment, looking very nervously over their shoulders. And I think the interesting thing about Portsmouth is that they seem to be looking at closing the deal at home. Like, their away form has dipped a little bit recently. They've 3 draws in the last 4 away, whereas at home it's 4 wins in a row. And I think that's a statement, really. The fact that they are going to they are comfortably clear at the moment. Was it 5 points clear, 6 clear? I think they're going to try and get the job done at home. But as Jimmy says, Wrexham, the amount of goals they score at home is incredible, really, and it means that they are probably the safer pick of the two because we know that they're going to score twice at home against a Harrogate team that, let's not forget, they conceded just 9 times at Mansfield.
Just the 9.
Just the 9. Having said that, the doubts around Harrogate are the fact that they went to Stockport recently, drew. They went to Crewe recently and drew, and they went to Swindon and drew. So, they probably aren't one of the worst away teams, but we're talking about Wrexham as one of the strongest home teams League Two's ever seen.
Wrexham, innit?
Do you think it's Wrexham?
I think it's Wrexham, yeah.
Up to you to decide.
Is it? I don't like this because now if I'm going to be sat
Wash my hands of any of the blame.
Yeah.
I reckon it's Wrexham. Yeah, the deciding factor. But you lads have said Burton scored once in the last 4 games. Just can see it being a 0-0. That's what I said to you lads earlier, didn't I? It just makes me nervous.
Yeah,
Pompey have drawn 2 of the last 3. Yeah, I'd be sweating thinking this could be a 0-0 that busts it.
Yeah.
Wrexham.
Yeah, let's throw them in.
And is that it?
I think so.
Like it?
It's a nice price.
Who's the 4 and what price is it?
So, right, let's stick this in. I've got to do the buttons.
Yeah.
Remember, come back, Tom.
I think it was if you want us to vamp for a second while you press the button.
Yeah, I know. That's the bit. I like you saying vamp. I don't really hear anybody else say that. I think it's more of like a 2010 type phrase. So you're bringing it back. I like it. Okay, so here we go. This is our fourfold. I think we're settled on it. It's coming out at just about 11.5 to 1. We think we'll get a nice little boost from Sky Bet for this. So it's Barnsley to win at Carlisle, Crawley to beat Notts County, MK Dons to win at Grimsby, and Wrexham to beat Harrogate. 11.4 to 1. That is this week's Acca. What do we reckon?
We can't make it 3 in a row, can we?
Surely not. Surely not.
I like it, you know.
Might stop us doing this show if we win another one.
I know. I've got to be honest. I don't like it. I love it.
Disclaimer, I delivered 0 insight on this, so it's still the brilliant trio.
Oh, I thought you were covering your own arse then.
No.
So if it loses, not to do with me.
And most importantly, everybody, remember, please gamble responsibly. We'll be up for, if we've got a few bonus episodes, a bit of housekeeping to finish, then we'll also be looking at Thursday's slate, which is packed Europa League and Conference League. And there's a couple of EFL games, I think, as well, that they're trying to catch up on in the midweek. It's a packed week on Sporting Live with so much Cheltenham content, so we'll be making sure to keep you across that. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, then look out in your feeds and on YouTube for a bonus Cheltenham Acca episode we'll be sending out. And, of course, we'll be back with our usual Thursday episode looking at the weekend slate. But just keep an eye out for what is a really, really busy week in the world of betting, the world of football. What's not to love? Most importantly, I'll keep reiterating it. Please gamble responsibly and visit Sporting Live for that boosted price, which will be available on sportinglife.com as soon as we get it ready for the Tuesday action. Cheers.